Hello, we will be talking about the newest changes for our latest TMS update. First, we're going to go into our order planning section where we have added a new column to be able to view that is called extra pay. So if you go under your visible columns, you'll see extra pay now listed. You may have to scroll to the bottom, but if you have it selected, you'll be able to view it here up at the top with a total and average based off of each status as well. So if we move to the in progress, for example, we will be able to see the totals and averages for those specific drivers that have any extra pay. So if you have a few transactions selected for that specific driver, for example, under extra pay, depending on if they're reimbursements or deductions, any earnings, it will then give you the sum of those, and you will be able to see it here under the top section of order planning if you so choose. The next change that we have will be under planning accounting. So we have added a new column here as well. So in addition to extra pay, we now have MC number. So if you check this box, you will now be able to see it. Let's scroll over here. You will see the MC number associated with that customer for all of these specific orders. So if it's helpful for you to view it, you can see it there by selecting that checkbox. Next few changes we have here are going to be in regards to our shop section. So first one will be under stock. We have now added a column called total quantity. So if you wanted to add that here, that will be at the bottom as well. You can adjust to whatever order you need, but it's called total quantity. And that is taking into account the quantity for that specific part, as well as adding the total quantity for any cross-referenced items, and then adding those two together to get you your total quantity for any matching parts for this specific part that would include the quantity of the original as well. Our next change will be in regards to work orders. So when adding a new work order, you will be able to now associate a maintenance transaction if you are adding it on one of your own trucks. So let's do one here as an example. Let's click this truck. As you can see, this checkbox is now available. So if you select it, and let's add some test data here. Select our warehouse. We will select our part, and then we will save it. As you can see, once you save it, this checkbox will be locked. And if we open up our trucks list and go to that truck's profile, should be this one here up at the top. So if we go now under maintenance, we will now see that additional maintenance transaction from the work order that we had just input. So you will be able to see that listed here under that specific truck that will be associated with your company, as you can see here. The next change that we have is going to be also in regards to work orders, but we have added tax as a separate column, as well as added a new field. So if you go under your visible columns under your work orders, we now have an option to show you the subtotals and tax totals as well. So if you have that checked and listed, and we scroll, you'll be able to see that tax total based off of each work order. So you'll be able to see any totals and averages here under the columns. But if you open up one of those existing work orders as well, you will see that separate tax as well here in a new field broken down for you. The next change that we have added as well, which will also coincide with the tax, will be under Tools Preferences and under the Shop section as well. So as you can see, we added this new field called Tax Item, which will be associated to the sales tax name that you have listed within Quickbooks. So that tax that you'd have on the work order would be then listed as a separate line within Quickbooks itself when you would be exporting those work orders to your Quickbooks. The last change that we have of this update will be under Tools Preferences as well, but under our General section and under the trailer. This will be a drop limitation checkbox that will allow users to only drop trailers at locations that are selected as drop and hook. So if you have this checkbox selected, you will only be able to drop a trailer and attach a new one to a location that will be limited to a drop and hook location. So if you have this saved, you'll have to make sure that your locations here will have the checkbox here selected drop and hook. If you do not have it checked, you will not be able to drop and hook any trailers. If you do, you're going to have to make sure that these locations have this checkbox selected, so then you'll be able to swap out the trailers as needed. That concludes our update. Let us know if you have any questions. Thank you.